In this segment of ISO Watch, we are looking at Deepin 15.2 right now on Spatry's Cup of Linux. Before we begin, there are a few points I need to cover. This is not a review. This is a usability test in a virtual machine. You are getting my initial reaction of the software. I may miss features that are not visible to end users upon first glance. I do not take time to research features. That is your responsibility should you decide to try this software. I will not spend enough time with this project to form a valid opinion. Viewers who are offended by this policy should seek other venues for their edification. With that out of the way, enter Deepin 15.2. On first glance, this is a pretty desktop. But there's more than meets the eye than just being pretty. We need to have something which is functional. And this is, compared to previous releases, this seems to perform better than other releases that I've looked at in the past. Right-clicking on your desktop and going into Personalize will bring up the Deepin menu where you can make some customizations. You have your home screen here for user accounts, default applications, and that sort of thing. User accounts, display, default applications, personalization options are available here. Okay, and I guess that, okay, this lets you choose your icons. So there's only one theme that they have with this right now. Okay. Your cursors, wallpapers. Now this is pretty nice. They've got a nicer selection. The last edition of Deepin I looked at, all of the wallpapers were pink. So it's nice they've got a little variety in the mix now. Okay. Your network options. And this is your sound control. Pretty cool. Configure your date, time, and calendar settings. Power management. Mouse and touchpad. Keyboard and language. Keyboard shortcuts can be configured here. Okay. Alright, you can configure your boot options here. System information. What's this down there? Okay, and then a shutdown button. Okay, pretty cool. I'm actually liking how that works out. And they actually reworked this plank here. Let me show you when we right-click on this. Right now it's in fashion mode. You can change to efficient mode, or I personally like the classic mode better. I think this is a little bit more sane. Okay. You can keep showing it, keep hidden, smart hide, and then there are notification area settings. So if you want to, hide the battery icon, you can, hide your sound icons, whatever. I like this. This is definitely a step in the right direction, so thank you guys for suggesting this to me. It is looking better here. Okay, so here you have the control center. We already looked at those. Google Chrome comes loaded with this. You get Deepin Movie, Deepin Music, Deepin Store. We'll look at this one real quick. Most of their in-house applications are pretty nice in the Deepin Store. I've seen an earlier version of this. This is pretty nice. And considering that the Ubuntu Software Center is now defunct or deprecated or whatnot, we'll probably be seeing the Deepin Store coming over to a lot of other Ubuntu-based Linux distributions. So you have these icons here: rankings, internet, chat, music. anything by category. So pretty much select the category and you got some nice big pretty images, and cool deal. For those of you who really like having pretty, well, this is it. This certainly is pretty. This is your file manager. Unfortunately, it only comes with one theme, and yeah, so it is what it is. All right, you can show desktop, and then here is the launcher. So pretty much you have Google Chrome, you have the WPS Office, which I believe could be a proprietary Office suite. I'm not sure. I think they probably have a deal to where they could have that in there. All right, and then another proprietary piece of software is Crossover. All right, and this is the only way, kids, that you could try Crossover from Codeweavers without paying for it. They have made a deal, and we actually verified this because we were concerned that this was being distributed illegally, and it turns out that Deepin has made a deal with Codeweavers. Hey, I want to get this in my distro. What kind of deal do I have to make with Codeweavers to be able to get this in my spin, huh? They made a deal, so this is legit, and this is the only way that you can legally get a copy of Crossover without paying for it. So you want to try that. But personally, if you're going to run a lot of Windows applications in Linux, I would go with a lighter weight desktop than this desktop here. Although I'm sure you probably could install XFCE or some other desktop on this if you wanted to. So at the end of the day, yes, this is a pretty looking distribution that has a little something for everyone. Most of your day-to-day tasks can be handled easily with this. And it does have a nicer look and feel than previous installments of Deepin that I've looked at. In a perfect world, nothing is ever perfect. In the boot menu, these are the only two options you have: install Deepin or Deepin failsafe. Other distributions will give you an option to pass kernel parameters and that sort of thing in the boot menu, but that's an advanced option. I didn't see it in there. No biggie. Not a deal breaker at this point. Something that may be a deal breaker for a number of you, though, is that this distribution does not have a live environment with which to test. Pretty much, you have to install this software if you want to use it. So we'll select our language, and it has detected that we are operating within a virtual machine, and it's basically saying that you need to use this in a real environment. But my opinion still stands that if your distribution is not good enough to operate in virtual hardware, why would I want to try it on real hardware? I mean, Windows will run just fine in a virtual environment, right? Okay, and for the installer is very easy. Pick your time zone. Choose your keyboard layout here. Put in your name. Put in your password. And then from here, it tells you how it will set this up. But if you want to dual boot this with Windows, you're going to have to go into expert mode and you are going to have to manually set up your partitions. Sadly, though, this does not have any encryption options. So for those of you who are security freaks, who really want to get your looks or your LVM encryption on, it's not happening with this distribution. So, at the end of the day, this is a pretty OS. Personally, I think the latest KDE is lighter weight than this is. This is definitely a step in the right direction compared to what I have seen in the past. Certainly not something that would replace my daily driver that I'm currently using now. But it is a step in the right direction. If you think this is something that you would like to try, go to the link in the description, download this, and try it out for yourself. That's all I have on this. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing next on my show, but I'm sure I'll have something equally exciting. Until then, peace out.